Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another video, man. This is the hardest video I'm ever making. This one is gonna be a tough one for me to talk about. For so long, I haven't even said anything about it. A lot of you have asked for this video. What happened to me at Dart Transit? A lot of you guys know me from Dart Transit. Whether you're in my orientation class, I did the road test for you, or I was there to help. Whether you're a driver, you stopped in the office to come see me while I was there. This is gonna be one of the toughest videos I made because something about me, man. I consider myself a real friend. Like if I consider you a friend, then you got me for life. Regardless, I'm always gonna be there to help. I'm gonna be there on your side. I never do nothing grimy to you. I just try to be, I wouldn't do nothing to nobody that I wouldn't want them to do to me. You see what I'm saying? And I experience this a lot in life, where people don't know how to be a good friend. A lot of people are selfish. They think about themselves, and that's why this video is tough for me to make. Also, that's part of the reason why I changed the name of the channel. If you noticed, I changed it from my name because the channel's not about me, man. It's about all of us. It's about trucking, and I wanted to bring some unity to the channel, and I changed it to the Trucker Hood. It just sounds good to me. You got the brotherhood, the neighborhood. All of these things symbolize a tight-knit community, and this right here is the Trucker Hood, man. Welcome to the Trucker Hood. If you're subscribed, if you're not, please do. If you're interested in things that we like to talk about trucking, I got a lot of plans for the future of the channel. I met a lot of people, ground up truckers that started when I started years ago. We might have went to school together, trucking school together, or we went they were in some of the trucking company that I worked at when I first started. And now some of these guys, man, they're doing it big in trucking. I mean, multi-truck companies now, $1 million companies. So I'm still got great relationships with these guys, and I want to get a chance to talk to them and bring them on the channel and let them talk about some of the things they dealt with coming up as a successful trucker. But yeah, man, without further ado, man, let's get into the story of what happened to me at Dart Transit. So a lot of you may know, I was working, I'm originally from the Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia area, and I was working for this company that hauled steel back and forth up to New York, man. I made some great, good money with them. And I decided, hey, man, I want to own my own truck. And at the time, I wasn't sure, if I wanted to double down on it. I just recently started a family, and I was like, what, let me try lease, and let's see how lease works. And that will give me a pretty good idea what it's like owning a business. It does eliminate a lot of the paperwork when you do lease, because the company usually does that. But if you can't handle a lease, it's going to be a lot harder, in my opinion, to be a full-time owner operator, because there's a lot more paperwork that you got to deal with yourself. Your loads, it's a little bit more on the owner operator side than it is lease. So I ended up going with Dart Transit. So I get to Dart, orientation was great, everyone was nice. The truck they gave me, it was the exact truck I wanted. I know when I left, I said, look, I want a black Freightliner, preferably the new body style, around 400,000 miles. And I got that truck. I ended up getting a black Freightliner. I posted it on here before. If not, I'll post it again somewhere like right here. And man, I love the truck, man. I kitted it out, I put lights on it, you know, everything I could to like make this truck stand out and be my own. And you know, Dart loved it too. I mean, the truck, every time I would come in, people would knock on my door and be like, hey man, yo, love the truck. Dart is a majority a leasing company, so people come knock on the door, man, where'd you get this, where'd you get that, man, I want, you know, this looks real dope, stuff like that. And Dart would come out, take pictures of the truck. You know, I took pictures, I would send them in to Dart, stuff like that, and they would post them in the calendar. And this is where, like, you know, I ended up getting like a pretty, I guess, I want to say popular. People knew who I was based off of the truck. They would see it in the yard and they would know I was there. And, you know, I made a lot of friends while I was at Dart. So while I was there, my truck ended up breaking down, and it was a really expensive fix. I had to make the decision. It was going to take a long time to fix. I had to make a decision to be out of work for 4 to 5 months, possibly longer. Or, you know, Dart decided. I got a phone call from their recruiting manager, and he was the manager for recruiting department. So he pretty much manages the recruiters, orientation, and like the what do you call it? The advertisement team, I guess. Like they're the ones who, like, you see advertisements get posted on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever else. They handle that aspect of the company. So I got a call from him, and he asked me, hey man, I know your truck's, you know, broken down. It's gonna be a while to fix. I wanted to know if you were up to it. You can sell the truck. We'll sell it for you. We have a position available for you that we think you'd be good for. You sell the truck. If you take the position, you know, we'll give you the check. We'll put the check on your desk, and we think you'd be great for the position. So, mind you, I said, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I spoke it over with the wife. The wife is like, you know what? I want you, you know, I would like to have you home more. You know, it's an office job. It pays pretty good. Yeah, take it. So I end up saying, hey, I'm gonna let the truck go. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna take the job. So they said, cool. This is a Friday. They wanted me to fly out to Minnesota that Sunday. So I had to fly out to Minnesota on Sunday. I went out there. I was in training for 2 weeks. So I was in Minnesota for 2 weeks, away from home again. And this is where I find out what the position actually is. It's orientation position. They hired me on for orientation assistant, and I don't know why my GPS is going off, but they hired me for orientation assistant. And technically what my job entailed of is, all I did was help out during orientation, do like safety class, hand out paperwork to the drivers, you know, try to keep them entertained and stuff like that throughout orientation, so it's not boring while we're doing the paperwork. They figured, hey, you got the personality, people seem to like you, you'd be perfect for the job. I end up, man, I loved the job, I did. And then I would do road tests. So drivers come there, and, you know, you may have 40 years experience. Some of them have way more experience than I did, but, you know, we don't know that until we give you a road test. You might have a license, but you could have, you know, you've probably been driving a 28 footer your entire career. We don't know what you've actually done until we actually see it. So we give road tests, man. I've had some drivers, I've never had to fail a driver. I only had to fail one driver, and it hurt my feelings. I have to fail this driver, but he just, you know, I don't know, he just couldn't do it, man. I even tried to, like, a lot of the drivers there, that you guys know, if you're having trouble doing your road test, I'll give you pointers and help you out. And I'll even stay after and help drivers. I've stayed after 2 hours, after, you know, just off the clock, helping drivers learn how to back if they're struggling with backing, or turn through a corner better, you know, and just so that they could pass the road test. And I'll road test them again, and if they can do it without my help, they pass. I've never had anyone fail after I've showed them some techniques that I've used or that I've learned, or, you know, taught them. And so I started doing that, and then, man, this is when things it was good for a while, good 4 or 5 months, and then things just took a crazy turn. I don't know if Dark came through, they came into some financial troubles or what was going on in the background, but one day, we're all at work, and I'm in my office, and drivers are just coming up to my desk, back to back. I mean, it had to have been at least 100 drivers that were like standing out in the lobby, and I was like, what in the world is going on? They're all out there with their bags and everything. Apparently someone sent out a message to their Qualcomm or whatever they used, their tablet in the truck, and said, you're being routed back to the terminal. Basically they were being terminated or let go, basically. These were all the team drivers. Any of the teams, Dart said they were done with doing teams, and they let them go. And they brought all of them, routed them back into the terminal, and they didn't give us any heads up. Nobody in the office. We had no clue that this was happening. They just they ended up giving us a call once all the drivers showed up and said, hey, when the drivers get there, send them a bus ticket home. And this didn't sit right with me, because I'm not like that. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and it was terrible that I had to be the face of this situation happening. They made this call from a corporate office and didn't say anything to us, and when they coming back, I'm the first face that they see in orientation, and I'm the last face they see when they're being let go. So I became the face of that situation, and I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like it at all. Like, why would they not give me a heads up? It was just a very sloppy situation to be in, and I wish they would have done it differently. I couldn't respect it. So from there, layoffs started happening left and right. Office employees when I first started, the office was full of people. Towards the end, man, it was like 5 of us in the office, a whole office space. So I'm thinking maybe they're about to sell the building. It's only 5 of us. So there was another guy that I worked with. We were both in charge of orientation, and this guy, he's been there for 20 years plus. So when the layoffs started happening, he started, packing up his desk. And I was asking him, like, hey, why you packing up your desk? I'm the new guy here. If they're gonna let anybody go, it's gonna be me. And he looked at me and said, man, if anyone knows, man, the guy that my manager up in Minnesota, I did anything this guy asked me to. I was the newest guy, and not only that, like, I really had a passion for the drivers. I came in the trucking industry when trucking was about truckers looked out for other truckers, so to put me in the office at the end of the day, I'm always a trucker first. So I looked out for my drivers as much as I could, as much as my power would let me. And if you were right, you were right. If you were wrong, you were wrong. And I'm gonna let you know. I've had drivers come in that had accidents, and they're like, hey man, they trying to let me go for this accident. And I would sit down with them and review the accident with them and be like, look, man, this is what you did wrong. You were wrong, bro. If they were wrong. And if they were right, I stuck my nose out every single time for the driver. Like, sometimes it risked me my job. Like, I've had my managers be like, hey, shut up, it's none of your business. But no, it is my business, because look, this and this happened. Right here, this driver did it. If they were right, man, I got you all the way, and I've had drivers that they thought about terminating, and I stuck my neck out because they were right, and they were still driving. They ended up getting to keep their job. So, like, it's worth it to me. I'm that type of friend, like I said in the beginning. But even with my supervisor, man, if he asked me to do anything, like, it was to the point the guy that I was working with thought that our manager had a little bit of favoritism towards me. And I don't think it was that. I think it was that he's seen my capabilities and the way drivers have respect for me. And it was only because I have respect for drivers. A lot of them in the office, they did not have any respect for the drivers. They don't know what it is to have that respect for the drivers. I guess the image of driving trucks now is, if you closed your eyes, I tell drivers this all the time, close your eyes, picture a truck driver. But before you were a truck driver, picture what a truck driver looks like in your head. If you could just create your own truck driver and what he looks like. A lot of us are going to see an image of this fat, disgusting, his butt crack hanging out, this dirty, he stink. Like, that's what you imagine. So that's what they see when they see these truck drivers. And a lot of us are not like, look at, bro, I'm probably one of I got OCD when it comes to my truck. I'm not one of these dirty truck drivers that you would see. And I there's a lot of drivers out here that's not like that. There's a few that are, so it's just the image that's portrayed that makes people think of us like that. And I think that's why the office employees tend to look at their drivers as all like that. Their respect is not where it should be when it comes to the office employees. And every trucking company is going to tell you, hey, come to our company, we care about our drivers, and our drivers are number one. And we really, man, a lot of them, they don't care. They say it for a paycheck. You notice, I guarantee your dispatcher at 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whatever time he gets off, you can't get in touch with him. Yeah, there was times when I was working there, and I know I'm rambling right now, but I gotta give you the full story. So we went to the point that, like, all right, so my supervisor, he would ask me to do it, pretty much anything. Hey, could you come to Minnesota and do the class? This guy is sick. Could you come up here, because next week we don't have that many people there in Dallas. Could you come up to Minnesota and teach the class here? Could you do road tests here? Hey, there's a couple trucks. There's one in Virginia, one in Atlanta, one in here. Could you do a truck recovery and run here? Grab this truck, bring it there. Grab this truck, bring it here. And a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with my job title. Like, it was a bunch of stuff, but I never told him no. You know why? Because, like, for one, he gave me an opportunity when my truck went down, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I owe him. So, I went out the way. But at some point, it goes from an opportunity to being used. So that's how, and I didn't realize I was being used. I thought he looks out for me, I look out for him. And that's how I looked at it for a long time. It wasn't until the day, our department was downsizing, the orientation department, and they were starting to let people go left and right. And it was about 4 or 5 of us left out of 30 people in the beginning. And I was one of the people left, and there was another one left. There's a couple of us left. And the guy that I was working with, that's been there for 20 years, decided, hey, he started packing up his desk. His desk was right next to mine. He starts packing up, like putting everything in boxes. So I'm like, what are you doing? He puts his head up, he starts tearing up and crying and saying, I already know I'm being let go next. I said, why would you be getting let go next? You've been here 20 years. He said, man, you know how to do everything in this company. You know how to drive a truck. You know how to do safety. You know how to do recruiting. You know how to do orientation. You know how to do everything. I don't know how to do nothing. I've been here 20 years, and I don't know how to do nothing. You've been here 6 months and learned everything. I know it's me. And he's like, I don't know what else I'm going to do with my life. And I had to think about it, like, damn, I did learn a lot while I was here. And it wasn't like intentionally I wanted to learn as much as possible, but you can only learn as much as somebody's going to teach you. And they were teaching me these things because I had to do them. I had to do everything even outside of my job title. I was doing them. And it was like, it became a point where I was doing so much, it became not an opportunity and more of being used, because I got the phone call and said, hey man, you're being let go. And I took it like, okay, I'm being let go. I'm a truck driver. Things slowed down here at the company. When things pick back up, they'll give me a call back, you know, and it's a temporary thing, you know. Layoffs happen all the time. So I got laid off, and man, this is when I started to realize I was never a friend to anybody. Like, I saw people as a friend that wasn't my friend, because you start to see how people, let's see, I had, you know, the guy, he ended up sending me a message about, you know, 7 months later. But mind you, I left out a major key part, and I didn't want to talk about it, but this is why it hit my emotions like a little differently, and it was the hardest video. I said it's the hardest video to make, is because while all of this is going on, you know, I'm end up getting full custody of all my kids. They end up coming to move in with me. Then, you know, my little brother ends up, you know, he passes away. You know, my little brother, we end up having to do his funeral in October. So I lost my little brother. He was 15 years old. His name was Matthew Fung. I'll tell you guys his name because, you know, they say a man dies twice. Once when he physically dies, and once when his name is uttered for the last time. So, hey, keep my brother's name alive, y'all. You know, back to the story, like, I'm dealing with a lot, plus now the layoff. And, you know, I was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna keep my head up. We're gonna, you know, I got my CDL. I can go jump in the truck. We'll get back to driving. So, you know, they'll call me back when things, you know, level out. So things start leveling out, and I see that he posted, you know, a job, you know, opportunity back in the, you know, pretty much what I was doing, but in the recruiting department. So I was like, hey, I see you got the position, man, and, you know, I'm still around if you need me. And he was like, hey, I'll be in Dallas. I want to sit and have lunch with you. Give me a call. I said, okay, I'll give you a call tonight. Now, this may have been where I messed up, but, you know, I'm back on the road now, and got so busy throughout the day. I'm driving around, I'm dealing with this and this. I'm talking to the wife before bed. Before I knew it, you know, it got later, and it was probably too late to give him a call. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna call him in the morning. In the morning, chaos again. Everything's going on. Hey, we gotta deal with this. I got this and this. And I ended up completely forgetting to give him a call back. So I call him back. I finally do call him back, but it's about, you know, 4 days later, something like that. And I call him, and he was like, hey, man, I tried to call you, but he texted me. Tried to call you. No, you said you were going to call me. You never did. I said, yeah, I apologize, man. I got, like, extremely busy. I'm on the road now. You know, my hours are different. I was running nights. So it was just, in the daytime, it's like, you know, I don't know. And then if they were having me run splits, I really can't remember exactly why I got so busy. It just, honestly, it just crossed my mind. But I do call him, and I'm like, you know, I've always been a good person to this guy. I've been a good friend. You know, he'll understand. Nope, didn't understand. It treated me like, oh well. And it was like, wow, oh well. I thought me and you were better than that. Like, I thought, remember I did this? Remember I was like, and it wasn't tit for tat. It was just like, I thought you noticed me. You know what I mean? And it was nothing like that, bro. It was like, that office, I don't know if you have to have surgery before you become an office employee for a trucking company, and they have to remove your heart, because there's no heart in that office at all. Like, there's no empathy, there's no nothing. It's just empty people in the office who don't care about anything but themselves. Like, even at home, if you listen to them talk enough, they don't even care about what they got going on at home. A lot of them don't care about them kids. They don't care about their wife. They don't care about the office. They don't care about them truck drivers. They don't care about nothing at all. They do not care. I don't know what they love, what their passion is. It's just themselves. They're selfish. They were just everyone. And I start to see it as now that I'm not there and I'm out of it, because I slowly started to become that person, because I noticed, man, I was doing everything he asked me to do. I was doing I was going to pickup trucks. I'm doing safety. I'm doing orientation. I'm doing road tests. I'm flying to Minnesota. I'm flying to Atlanta. I'm doing all this stuff that I started to forget about my own family that I had at home. And this is where it made me realize I was becoming one of them. And now that I'm back in the truck, I know I'm away from home, and family became like, you guys see, my son was in here last week, man. It hurt my heart to drop him back off at home, but he got school next week. But family became like the only thing I hang out with now, man. My kids, my wife, you know, that's it. Like for a long time, like even my friends, they haven't heard from me. I call them, but I'm not outside like I used to. Now it's just mainly, I just want to hang with my kids, man. I want to build that relationship, and especially, you know, after losing my brother, it opened up my eyes to like, man, spend that time while you can. We all got to get out here and make our money. You got to make your money. We got to survive, man. We got to provide. You got to eat. But do not forget the ones that you love, man. If you love them, man, spend that time with them. Show them, tell them as much as you can, because you never know when that time is going to run out. Unfortunately for me and my brother, our time, ran out. I miss his phone calls, and he's 15. He looked up to us, like it's me and his other brother, our other brother, and he looked up to both of us. And to see him go so young, it was like, I don't know. It changed me. It changed me for the better. And I have friends, and I keep friends, but I hang out with them when I can. I hang out with them when I want, but I hang out with my family as much as I can. And sometimes I feel like I don't hang out enough. But my kids was just telling me this weekend, like, hey, man, Dad, I love that you spend so much time with us. Like, I love spending time with y'all. That's why. But yeah, that's my message. This video is super long. I didn't mean to make it this long, but it was just so much to talk about in this video, man. And yeah, that's what happened to me at Dark. I get emotional, especially when I consider somebody a friend, and I feel crossed, or like I was never that to them. Man, that's rough to deal with. It hurts, and we move on. We learn from things, and we become better. I'm starting the YouTube. I started the YouTube channel, man, and man, hopefully you guys subscribe to this, man, because I want to grow it up. I want this to be like a real trucking family. I want this to be all of our channel, not just it's not my channel. This is all of our channel, and let's make this happen. You guys asked me to make a video. I'm gonna make the video. I want to do, like I said, I want to do interviews. We want to talk about things that's going on in the trucking industry. If you see me at a truck stop, man, say what's up. And I kind of want to get some t-shirts, some merch, something like that, and just to represent the trucker hood. But if you guys know anybody who designs t-shirts, stuff like that, man, let me know. I'm gonna get some hats out here, what we can, and just to we can start representing this as a whole, as a family. But to the people that's already part of the family, what's up? Welcome, welcome back. If you're not, man, hit the subscribe button so we can make this happen. But as you can tell, I'm a trucker. Phone's ringing. I'm out.